we also want our people to be very educated. So I'm going to move now to a topic that I know is very dear to your heart. And since you wouldn't do it, I'm going to hold up your book and tell everybody that this is a great read, and it is Keep Sharp, Build a Better Brain at Any Age. And it's a fascinating book. And it goes, I've been trying to tell younger people this is something you should read before it's too late. So perhaps give us an overview of that, and then we'll delve a little more deeply.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. I mean, you work on these projects, and sometimes they take years, and you don't know how they're going to land. They're kind of like your children. So to hear someone like you, who's this esteemed educator, sort of refer to it that way, it's meaningful to me. So thank you for that. There's a whole book behind this, but I wanted to. What I'll tell you is sort of the genesis of this, because I think it's fascinating, and I found it really inspiring. First of all, I'm a medical reporter. I'm a doctor who's also a reporter, and as a result of straddling these two worlds, what's kind of fascinating sometimes, Barbara, is that I'm learning things in my world of neuroscience. I'm going to the conferences. I'm talking to my colleagues in the hospital, in their labs. They tell me these fascinating things. But there's always this lag time between the time that something is really becoming something to talk about in the neuroscience world before it gets into the rest of the world, the lay world, people who aren't neuroscientists. And in some ways, I felt like I had an obligation as a neuroscience person who's also a reporter to help bridge that gap. So in many ways, I was acting like a translator of this really remarkable emerging fund of knowledge in neuroscience and trying to make it useful for the average person who's not a neuroscientist. And by making it useful, I mean teaching them what it is, but also saying, here's what it means to you. Here's what this is how you might live your life now based on this new knowledge. One of the most interesting things was this knowledge now that neurogenesis, the idea of building new brain cells at any age in your life, was possible. We've known a lot about neuroplasticity, which means you can recruit existing brain cells to do different things. That's different. Neurogenesis, actually building new brain cells at any phase of your life, was kind of revolutionary. We thought there was only two times when you did this: when you're a baby and your brain is still developing, or in response to some sort of injury, like a stroke or a traumatic brain injury or something like that. But that a healthy brain could continuously undergo the process of neurogenesis throughout your entire life was pretty remarkable, and I thought inspiring, because it meant that the brain, unlike most other organs, really any other organ in the body, could continue to functionally improve as you got older. That's audacious. I think people just generally say, I'm getting a little slow, my memory's starting to fade, all this sort of stuff. It is a cultural sort of imposition on what is really happening with the brain. You visit places around the world where people are in their 90s and are still doing 5-digit, math problems in their head, and, remember everything like, a 20-year-old. It's remarkable until you realize that what is more remarkable is that we think it shouldn't be that way. Yeah. So that's what this book is really about. If neurogenesis can occur at any age, how does that help stave off the likelihood of dementia later on? If neurogenesis can occur at any age, what do you do now to inspire that neurogenesis to occur? And as you point out correctly, it's not just about preventing disease. It's about optimizing your brain now, whether you're young or old. So I love, it took me 2.5 years to write, because I just spent so much time talking to these neuroscientists, following the studies along. But in the end, I thought it could be quite useful for people. It's not about selling you a drug or a procedure or anything like that. These are lifestyle changes that can lead to pretty acute, quick benefits.